Hey YouTube, I hope that everybody is doing well today. In today's video, we're going to be talking about counting our blessings and never forgetting your beginnings. So, before we get started, I want each and every one of you guys to please comment down below and write down one thing in the comments that's something that you accomplished that you never would have expected. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be personal, but I would love to hear what you guys write because I feel like it'll help inspire others and also contribute to this video as well. So one thing that I want to mention before we get started is that oftentimes in life we go extremely far. You know, we're growing, we're prospering, we're doing all these different things, but at the same time, we're forgetting about our beginnings. We're forgetting about the things that we had to go through that were extremely hard to get where we're at now. So I think something really powerful is to always remember your beginnings and to count your blessings because it helps you gain perspective and it also helps you remember that there's always opportunity to grow. So one thing that I want to say is that it's very deep looking back at things over time and seeing how we're able to learn and grow. You know, it's deep because we go from one space to the other space and it happens so quickly and so fast that oftentimes we forget about the goal that we were trying to achieve in the first place because by the time that we've completed that goal, there's another goal that's coming down the line. So I'm going to give you guys a story. When I was about a few years ago as a teenager, I remember having to get my driver's permit and I was studying. I was extremely nervous, and I remember the first time that I went to take the test, I failed it. So I was like, okay, you know, coming back again, try next time. And second time, I was 1 point away from passing the test. So I failed it as well. The third time I went back, studied extremely hard. I was studying like every single day. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give it 2 weeks before I go back. Finally, I tested. Bam, got my driver's permit. That was a few years ago as a teenager. Now I have my driver's license and I've been driving for a few years now, but it's crazy because I have my license and I'm driving like it's nothing. But at the same time, the other day, I just remembered that, wow, I had that challenge, and at the time it seemed so scary, it seemed so hard, it seemed almost unreachable, but I ended up accomplishing it. The second story was in high school. I've never liked taking math classes. I remember that they had algebra classes that were requirements for you to graduate, and I don't know how, but I ended up getting through those classes, and I'm like, just thinking about it, like thinking about algebra gives me a headache. I've never really been a mathematical person when it comes to equations and writing things down, but some way, somehow, I was able to manage passing those classes. So I think that it's deep when you really look back and you think about the things that were so hard, and then you think about how you've passed and gotten through them and count your blessings. And something that's deep is that when you practice that gratitude, it enables you to grow and to prosper while also remaining humble at the same time. So you're able to look back and realize that you can get through anything. You're capable of absolutely anything. And then in saying that, you realize patience in the process and making sure that you're always willing to just take that time and say, okay, I'm going to do what I have to do to get through this so I can move forward. The last thing, you guys, is I want to say honoring your ancestors. When we talk about counting our blessings, thinking about those people that came before us, there's so many different people, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and thinking about all the different things that they may have done so that future generations can have a better life. I mean, it's really powerful. I know that everybody has a story. I think about my grandparents are growing up on farms and, you know, working the land and doing all these things that nowadays we don't have to do. There's a lot of convenience now, but I think about their hard work and it inspires me as well. And it's just really deep when you take a step back and you start to think about every generation that's come before you, and it goes on forever. There are stories that have been passed down, and it would be really cool, like if you guys have parents or grandparents that are still living, to talk to them about these things. Ask them the questions about what were things that you guys went through when you were growing up that were hard, that seemed like challenges, but that you ended up getting through them, and that you look back, you know? These conversations are so key and important. At the same time that I'm talking about ancestors, I would also like to mention to pass down that wisdom and knowledge to future generations as well. If you have kids, if you have younger cousins, nieces and nephews, talk to them about these things because they may not know yet, but they're going to be going through them. And when they remember the conversations that they've had with you, it'll help them recognize it for what it is, realizing that, hey, you know, I'm going to count this blessing at this moment, but also looking back to realize how much they went through to accomplish it. So you guys, please like and subscribe, drop your comments down below. I hope that you like this video. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.